Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another math video. Today, we're going to be looking at how to combine volume for our more irregular shapes. All right, something that's not just a standard, rectangular prism, cube, quadrilateral that's in a 3D shape. So, for a quick just review, remember, obviously, you can watch the previous video about volume. But if we go back up, remember that we studied volume as volume equals length times width times height. This is getting us that third dimension, all right, to go to that 3D shape of length and width would do area for us, like putting carpet down in your room, but adding height gives us capacity and how much something can hold. All right. Well, this is what we learned on the previous video. Very standard. All right. And remember, with the associative property, you can multiply these measurements in any way, shape, and form. You'll get the same result. But what happens, all right, there's some work we did the other time. What happens when you get something that looks like this? All right, this is where it gets a little tricky. So the idea here is to create at least two. Right? Now, obviously, you can get really crazy and go chop it up any way you want, but you want to create two kind of separate areas, I would say, I guess, for your this irregular shape here. All right, so create two areas, and you want to label them, all right, to help keep your work nice and neat. So there's two ways you can cut this. All right, you could cut right here, and then look, as you could see, you would create a rectangular prism here, and you would create a rectangular prism here. All right, so you could also, let me go back in time here, cut right there, and this would kind of travel this way along with that, and you would have one here, and you would also have one down here. Okay, now we know the formula for volume, length times width times height, which we now can do because we have rectangular prisms. All right, so I have created two areas, check. I'm going to label them, check. Now you can label these whatever you want. I'm going to go simple. This is going to be A, and this is going to be B. So as you can see, this kind of looks like a cube. Maybe when we see our measurements, we'll find out it's a cube. And then this looks, once again, more like our standard rectangular prism. So we have created two areas. We have color coded them, labeled them. All right, and now I have to do a little bit of sleuthing to find out the measurements. So what I like to do, I told you in the previous video, I like to set up my guideline. I do volume equals length times width times height. Volume equals length times width times height. And you're probably asking, why did I do it twice? Well, this is going to represent A. This is going to represent B. All right. So when I am working right here with this, I want to be focusing on that part that's color coded that way, and then this part with that way. All right, so let's take a look here. I got to find a length, a width, and a height just for A. So I am just going to kind of disregard all this area down here and look. And it looks like I have a height, all right, of 5. Okay, as you can see here for just A right here. Okay, it looks like now watch this. This is interesting. This width is down in B, but if this is a good rectangular prism and or cube structure, that should mean that this up here is also 4 centimeters. So I'm going to use that as my width, and this would be my length for part A. So I would have the numbers of 5 times 4 and a height of 5. Okay, so I'm going to start over here. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 times 5 is a simple, simple 100, right? And because it's centimeters and because it's volume, I'm going to cube that. All right. So once again, this is probably one of the trickiest things, and I'll make sure I highlight this in a different color, is sometimes we have to use our imagination to say, well, if this is 4 centimeters, then that means this is 4 centimeters, and then that this is 4 centimeters. All right, as it travels up, and I can use a different color. All right, this is 4, and then this is 4. All right. So now on to our next part, B, okay? And I'm just focusing down here, and it looks like I have a length of 8, a width, width is gonna stay the same as 4, and this is my height for B, 4. And you might be saying, I'm gonna stop here. Well, what about 3 centimeters? Why didn't, guys, they're gonna add in information that they just want you to use to try to trick you. All right, we didn't use this 3 centimeters, we didn't use this 10 centimeters. It's extra information. Now, is it wrong that they put it in there? Man, it's a little sneaky, but they can definitely do it. So be on guard for that. All right. So I'm going to complete this here. 4 times 4 is 16. I'm going to bring down my, multiply 8. I'm going to do this off to the side so I don't confuse it with my work. 6 times 8 is 48. Bring over the, move over the 4. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 4 is 12. So 128 centimeters cubed. Now, the word that we have up here is combine. And what operation do you think about when you hear the word combine? Well, it should be a resounding plus, addition, sum. Okay, we have to combine these. All right. Now you can bet that if they were making a state test, choice A would probably be 100, choice B would probably be 128 to try to trick you up. But all we have to do now is add these totals. All right, and you could probably do that in your head, which is 228 centimeters is my units, and cubed because I am finding volume. And there is our final answer. Okay, a lot of chicken scratch there for you guys. I think you guys will be able to handle this no problem today. All right, but just remember that a couple reminders. They're going to throw in some extra information you might not need. All right, you got to weed out that stuff. All right, and the last one is making sure you understand that if something is the width down here, that can travel to here, for purposes of finding out certain measurements. Just like this here, this is 5 centimeters. That means this is 5 centimeters. All right, 8 centimeters. I guess if you really wanted to, you could say, well, then this line where I have my cut is 8 centimeters. So there's lots of ways to deduce what is a measurement. All right. Okay, guys, well, have fun with your practice today, and I will be seeing you guys soon. Bye-bye.